Well, let me ask you again. How many of you are in full achievement of your goals, desires, and potential? Well, as a coach, I suggest you stop and work backwards. Picture where you are and measure back to the beginning. And when you move forward this time, don't forget to take along yourself. You're going to need yourself to make all those relationships that are keys to success. Creating relationships with God or your wife, your parents, your children, or the people here today. You're not going to be successful in anything in life without relationships. The first relationship we have to focus on is the relationship with yourself. So let's take a look at that. Beyond relationships, beyond education, the things that drive us towards our goals are energy, passion, commitment, and you. Now, energy is a byproduct of passion. Passion is an emotion that fuels commitment. And commitment is the relationship between the cause and yourself. You understand the cause because it's relatively static, but yourself is a moving target. Let's spend a little bit of time understanding you. Picture the outcome and measure back to where you are. Folks, this really works. You'll learn so much about yourself and what you do that you'll find that even going through the motions delivers better results than what you're getting now. By working backward to where you are, you'll identify and fully understand the approach. There's magic in the approach. But first, you have to go back and reclaim yourself so that you can develop the deepest relationships. Those deep relationships, coupled with diligent research and honest approach, deliver success on a consistent basis. Without knowing who you are, the relationships are shallow at best. They'll have no substance because you don't have anything to put into them. They're hollow, and your relationships will have very little follow-through. And follow-through is the key to success. To know who you are, just stop. Go back to the beginning and look at what you're best at and what you like. Don't worry yet about what you can't do or what your weaknesses are. Develop the strengths. Leave the weaknesses. You are not your weaknesses anyway. You are a sum total of your strengths. If I were to work with you on your weaknesses, I might make you average or normal. But if I develop your strengths, I might make you Superman. Go back to the beginning and become Superman. The name of the game is to make the other guy need you. And you can't make him need you, nor can you give of yourself if you didn't remember to bring the goods. Yourself. Make the client need you. Know more about them and their business than their own people do. Impress them. Inspire them to hand over their trust. When they do, you'll have the makings of a relationship. The client is not the other team, but they can be your partner, your teammate. Develop those relationships and guard them with all you are and all you have. Make them need you with good upfront information, diligent research of product and market, donation, and how that pays off. Foster the feeling of team with immediate follow-up and be receptive of feedback and criticism. Now let's look at the importance of those relationships. It's not my job to bring the best out. It's their job to bring the best out. It's my job to help them bring the best out. Systems break down, responsibilities go unmet, and jobs neglected when we overinflate our importance. In time, what you see as your reality becomes an external expectation. Over time, the weight of those inflated expectations begins to break you down, and ultimately, sometime later, you withdraw from illness, fear of failure, or because it just isn't fun anymore. Keep it real. People without a good sense of self often tie too much importance to their ideas. They don't keep it real. You see, everyone who enters the conference room or the sales meeting has a pin and a balloon. It's your job to float balloons, present ideas. But understand this, while you're floating balloons, it's their job to use the pin to burst your balloon. That takes real teamwork and desire. It requires a strong sense of self to keep perspective. Your ideas are not you. A strong sense of who you are will make you more valuable to the process and ultimately more successful. We look for the impenetrable balloon, but also realize due to time restraints, we must often make do with the toughest balloon we can find. They all pop at some point, but which idea will get us the furthest down the road? With a boardroom full of people whose self-awareness is intact, the process of give and take is healthy, dynamic, and problem-solving. Issues don't stand a chance. But know this, in the process, it's also your job to pick up your pen and burst others' balloons. It's a two-way process. You have to be willing to give and take. You have to be willing to give criticism and take criticism. Give advice and take advice. It takes a strong person to burst another person's balloon, because oftentimes all eyes fall on you to say, okay, what's your idea? Float your balloon, and you see everybody reaching for their pins. That takes strength. That takes a strong sense of self. It takes a person who knows that they are not their ideas. A good and healthy exchange of ideas is the key to problem solving. And the keys to problem solving are also the keys to success. Now, in the media packet that I provided on your seat before you came in today, there's a pin and a balloon. Let's have some fun doing a little exercise. Everybody take the balloon out and blow it up. And then I want you to take the pin and I want you to turn to the person to your right and I want you to burst their balloon. And at the end of this exercise, there will only be one balloon still inflated. All of you do. Pick up one of the balloons, one of the pins, and blow up the balloon. Have a little bit of fun. Now, you don't have to tie the balloons if you don't want to. That's kind of hard to do. But do blow up the balloons and hold it there. Now, when we started this exercise, we had 100 balloons inflated, 100 ideas. We're left with one. That's more than we had when we walked in here. One good idea is enough to claim success. And the success is this. We kept 99 mistakes from happening. With a healthy knowledge of who you are, you'll be confident enough to share what you have. You are greater than the sum of your parts. You are not your ideas and should be willing to share what you have without guilt, shame, or doubt. Others on the team should keep their opinions to objective thought and measure their merit based on workability. People have the right to be wrong. You have the right to be wrong. What you do not have the right to do is merely occupy a position and refuse to interact and add to the team process. With a healthy sense of self-awareness, you wouldn't do that anyway. Developmental pit crew guys invariably, at some point in the process, come to me frustrated and angry. They're a spirited and passionate bunch. They all say something like this: Coach, when is it going to be my turn? When are you going to give me a chance? They tell me how they've practiced for hours and days and months. After listening to them, you see, to ignore them or interrupt them is to deny them of their self, and I won't do that. They need to be able to float their balloons so that they know they're an important part of the process. But then I pull out my pen and I tell them that I'm powerless in this decision-making process. This is stunning. They're always taken aback by it. Coach doesn't have the power? Well, who does? After the shock is worn off, I explain that it's not my job to make them good. It's my job to show them how to do the job best, suited to the potential that I've identified in them. It's my job to tailor the task to their strengths. It's their job to make me need them. It's for them to be the best, using the tools that I've provided. It's their job to give me goosebumps and make me lose sleep at night. I explain to them that I'm just a victim of their talent and developed excellence. If you want in, make me forget to breathe when I see you in action. Make it so that I have to put you over the wall, because you're consistently better than the players I've already got over the wall. This isn't a game of favorites, or who works the hardest, longest, or anything like that. It's a game of performance. Make me need you.